Today's webinar is called Mobile Marketing for Guides and Lodges. I have a company called Marketing for Fishing Guides and Lodges, basically, and we have been in the business for a number of years, providing not only marketing service but technology services in the fishing industry for about 30 some years in different capacities. There we go. I'm Ted Johnson. A little about me. I'm a certified business consultant. That's how I've been making my living over the past 20 years. I consider myself an expert on online and offline and now mobile marketing. I run a number of different companies and a lot of them over the last couple of years being online based companies where we have online commerce and online services. One of the things I like to point out is that I'm not necessarily an expert or a guru, because I don't think anybody can be an expert or a guru, though you just can't keep up with all this stuff out there. But I'll tell you what, I know it works and I know what doesn't work because I've tried a ton of stuff. And today we're going to be sharing with you some things that we've been doing in our own businesses that seems to be working very, very well. And then at the end of the webinar, we'll be showing you a package that we've put together for guides and lodges that is really starting to take the market by storm. And you'll see why as we introduce this to you. I'm a fisherman by heart. I grew up on the McKenzie River in Central Oregon. My grandfather was a fishing guide, so I spent most of my summers in the back of a fishing boat. I've got a real passion for fishing in general, and I also have a passion for the fishing business. Like I said, I've been in and out of the industry for the last 30 years. In Oregon, I ran tournaments and derbies and been involved in the sporting or in the sporting industry for quite some time. I was a manufacturer's rep for a lure company or a hardware company, and then I did a lot of work in the state of Alaska, expediting trips and setting up trips, and I actually even ran a boat up there for a while for a guy. So I've been in your shoes. I know what it takes not only to catch fish, but also to run the business of catching fish. And people don't really appreciate really the hard work that you all put in. And in some cases, they don't appreciate really what you're giving them, because in my honest opinion, you're giving them a piece of heaven. They're working 40 hours a week, 60 hours a week, 80 hours a week just to spend a week on the water with you. And that's what they live for. And so you are this ambassador of a good time, if you may, and really provide an incredible service to people, whether it's giving them the trip of a lifetime or the 20th trip of a lifetime. I commend you all for doing that. But the reason for this webinar is that there's been a major shift in the marketing environment, and particularly since February of this year, 2014. And let me explain why. Of course, about 10 years ago, maybe even a little longer than that, the World Wide Web came into play. And in the beginning, everyone thought it was a fad and it would go away. Well, of course, it didn't. And it really now is the true focus of most marketing companies is getting eyes on your website, getting that real estate in front of people. But we've now seen this major change, and it came in kind of stealthy. People didn't see it coming, but then it sort of overtook the market. And what I mean by that is that web searches and finding information now online has become much easier to be done on mobile devices than it is on desktop devices. And in February of 2014, there were just as many web searches for products and services as there were on mobile devices as there were on desktop devices. And that has continued to grow. Just this past month, it was 68% of all web searches being done are now being done on mobile devices versus desktop devices. And think about it for a second. Why would that be? Well, a desktop device, you typically will keep it off. You'll have to turn it back on. You'll have to turn on the monitor. You wait for it to boot up. Then you go to your Internet Explorer or your Firefox or whatever you're using as your web browser, type in what you want to find, and boom, up it comes. Well, that boom, up it comes takes about 4 or 5 minutes to get to that point. Well, on mobile devices, they're instantaneous. And if you've done web searches on mobile devices, you know all you have to do is grab them. I've got an iPhone. I grab it and I hit my Safari button, and bang, I can start finding things immediately. And so it's much, much more convenient now to do web searches and search for information on a mobile device than it is on a desktop device. And so basically, what's happening is that most companies out there have developed beautiful websites. This is a website of a friend of mine. His name is Jason Berg. We did not develop this website. This is one that he and another developer have done, and it was developed for a large 15-inch, 30-inch, monitor with tons of information, great graphics, and it just looks beautiful. Well, now people are starting to look more and more on their mobile devices, and what they're doing is they're looking at all these websites that are really designed for these desktop devices, and it just kind of scrunches all the information down, and it doesn't look as appealing as it does on a great big device. The other thing that's happening is that people are not as attuned to giving you as much time for letting the screens format and finding the information on a mobile device. If it's not there immediately, if it's not easy to use, bang, they're off to the next one because they know they can go into another website and find that. And so here I'm giving you an example of what Jason's website does look like on a desktop device, and then he uses something called a responsive website, and it will then transfer down to what this is showing right here on my iPhone 5. This is how his website looks. Obviously, it's tremendously different. It has the same operational capabilities to it, but it really isn't doing much. And if people hit that, they'll tend to probably go on to the next guide or look for the next service. I'm going to take a quick moment and show you what I typically see when I'm doing a web search and I'm doing some consultation for someone that has a website and what it looks like on a mobile device. This is a very, very exclusive and successful lodge in the state of Maine. Shane, you might know who these people are. I have no clue. I've been to their website. They host, a very exclusive business people and politicians, and they've invested millions and millions of dollars in their operations. And when you go to your website, you see a picture of a smallmouth bass. It gives you some operational capabilities to it. But if you look at it on your mobile device, on the left-hand side, this is exactly what comes up. Everything is missing. There's no photographs, the phone number is cut off, there's no contact information. So if I have gone to a trade show, let's say, and I'm looking at going to a lodge, and I get a brochure from Lean's Lodge, the rep from Lean's Lodge might say, well, would you like to book a trip? And I'd say, well, tell you what, let me take your information and I'll go home and I'll think about it. Well, what happens is when you go home and think about it, right? You go home and get to your dining room table. You pull out the brochure. You might have your wife's significant other sit down with you, and you look at the brochure and you go, I wonder if there's more online. So you go to the website using your mobile device, your iPhone or your iPad or whatever, and up comes what we're seeing on the left-hand side, and it doesn't give me any more information. And at this point, I have a negative experience with Lean's Lodge, even though Lean's Lodge, I'll tell you what, from what I can tell, is an incredible place. It's not showing it on by what it's showing on that mobile device. And I guarantee you that if 68% of the people that are doing web searches, which they are now on mobile devices, are coming up with what we're seeing on the left-hand side, Lean's Lodge is going to be losing a tremendous amount of business. Now, there are ways to fix this. And in the illustrations today, I'm going to show you 3 different ways of fixing this issue. And the first issue is to work with your web designer and have them install or Actually, in many cases, all they have to do is go in and click a button and make your site responsive. And if your website is responsive, what happens is it will then reformat what's on the screen, and it'll put it in an easier to look at format. It brings up photos and that sort of thing. This is a menu button, and people can get around it. They can go and they can look at the information that you have on your site. It's clunky. The technology is getting a little bit better, but still, it doesn't give you the true appearance as if it's on a desktop site. You know, Jason has spent a few $1,000s developing out this website, and I don't think he is really getting the same bump, if you may, or the same impression when people look at it on his on a mobile device when his website is responsive. So what you want to do is, if you have a website currently, which most people do, I just grab your mobile device. I grab your iPhone or your Android. I go to a browser. I type in your URL, your website, to see what it looks like and see what it comes up with. If it comes up and it's garbled information, such as what we saw on this past page, if it doesn't make sense, you probably are going to want to get a hold of your web designer and ask about a responsive web design or some way to fix this problem. Working with a lodge recently in Alaska, and their responsive design goes to a blank page. And I was explaining to the guy, hey, 68% of your web traffic is now coming to mobile devices, and people aren't seeing anything. It goes literally to a blank page. And he just about dropped at that point, going, holy smokes, I'm losing 2/3 of the business. I'm driving to the website. It's become a very, very expensive endeavor to only get 1/3 of that those visitors. Now, the other way to do it is to do something called a mobile website. And a mobile website is developed out using something called HTML5. And that's just the acronym for the term of the type of programming that is done. In an HTML5 website, you can have your regular website, and then you can have your mobile website. And it gives a better look and feel for the experience on a mobile device. This site that I'm showing you actually is a live mobile website for Jason that was put together. It has some pretty cool functionality to it. It has a picture of him and a salmon, and it displays his logo. But still, it's a website. It doesn't take advantage of any of the intrinsic values of what is built into the technology of the phone, but it's a much better experience. And the way these mobile websites work, if someone goes to your website over here using that same web URL that you have, hotlinefishing.com, there's a program in there. It goes, oh, this is a mobile device because the screen size is X. It can read that. And instead of looking at this website, I'm going to show you this website, and the experience is much better for the end user. And so again, this is what they call a mobile website. There's more to it than just simply hitting a button and making it responsive, but it gives your visitors a much better appearance and a much better experience in visiting you on a mobile device. And then the third, and this may look identical to what I just showed you. There's a mobile website, and now here is a native mobile application. It's a little different, and actually it's a lot different, but it kind of looks the same. Typically, a mobile application is designed for both Apple and Android and Windows and some of the other phones that are available out there. And not only does it give you a more aesthetically appealing look on a mobile device, but it takes advantage of some of the things that the phone can do and utilizes it within the site itself. I'll show you an example of two of them side by side. Here is a mobile site, and I have functionality down here of looking at photos. So this is a gallery of all of the photos that Jason has put up there. I've got what we fish for, and then what or forgive me, our videos down here, and then some reporting that Jason can put on there. On a mobile application, we've put on here a a hot button for call us. And so if this application comes up on your phone and you want to get a hold of Jason immediately, all you have to do is click on the white call us button. You don't have to write down the phone number and then go back to the phone feature. It just automatically does that. We have a share button that the share button then automatically will update this application on the user's Facebook account so Jason's business can grow virally. Also on this particular application is a book a trip. This book a trip is where somebody can click a button and they can put in their name, when they want to fish, what they want to fish for, and you can even put in e-commerce and have them pay for their trip directly on that mobile application. There's photos, automatic fishing reports that come up. There's a Meet Me function. Most phones now have GPS capabilities, and if you're a guide that meets people on different bodies of water, there are ways to go in there and put in longitudes and latitudes of ramps and waypoints and marinas of where you're going to meet somebody. And then when they book a trip, you simply say, go to my application, go to the Fin Rock ramp, click that button, and then the phone will give them GPS directions turn by turn until they get there and meet you. How many times, if you're a guide, have you planned to meet somebody and they don't show up because they got the directions screwed up and it takes a couple hours for you finally to get on the water? And so that's some of the things that a mobile application can do that a mobile website cannot do, because it takes advantage of that technology that's built into the phone. Another way, and a quick way, and it's not 100% true, but close enough. The difference between a mobile application and a mobile website is a mobile website, you have to go to a browser and then bring it up on your phone that way by typing in your domain name or your www.hotlinefishing.com. On a mobile app, it has its own icon that sits on the phone, and it is a hot button itself where you just click that and then that application comes up from there. So my question is, which is easier to navigate? On the left-hand side, what we see is a reflective or a responsive website based on a website that's already been developed out there, very inexpensive to put up. It works. It works just fine, but you don't have some of the features and functions of the phones that it's on, or going to an application or a mobile website and using this type of technology to represent your business. When you go mobile, there's many other little nuances and things that you can do that can help you promote your business dramatically. And I'm a Scarface a follower. I enjoyed Al Pacino in this, and I can't do his impression, but remember when he brought out that machine gun and he said, "Say hello to my little friend," and then he goes about blowing up the room that he was in with it. Well, when it comes to QR codes, that is a marketer's little friend. This thing is amazing. And we see them now more and more on literature and magazines. We see them on signs. We see them maybe on vehicles and that sort of thing. But let me explain what they are. They're like a barcode on steroids. A barcode has, the black and white bars on it. A typical barcode can hold up to 16 bits of information. So it's fairly limited to what it can hold. Well, this barcode, or QR code as they call it, can handle up to about 3,600 bits of information. So there's a lot more stuff that you can do with this. The QR codes were developed by Toyota Motor Corporation back in the 90s to track all of the parts that they had for all of the different types of cars. They were running out of barcodes, and they were actually the ones that came up with this technology. And in Asia, I spent a little time there. This technology is running rampant, and it's amazing what it's doing in helping people market their business. And we're starting to see that now in the United States. And of course, I'm sure you're seeing it on some flyers, some magazines that you're looking at, and that sort of thing. But anyway, this little barcode, or this QR code, you can link it so that if you scan it on your phone, it will automatically go to a website. It will automatically download a mobile application. You can go right to a booking page on your website. It can give you an online brochure. You can tie it to the Department of Fish and Wildlife and get fishing reports. Anything that you can do with a mobile or an internet browser, you can make this thing do. And it's absolutely amazing. And the technology behind this is incredible. Now, there are companies out there, if you go out and you go, gosh, I'd love to get a QR code that goes to my website, and you might find one on the web. Well, you'll find one. They're easy to find. And they'll say, well, to develop out a QR code, we're going to charge you $200 or $300. And then to update it, we'll charge you $100 a year. And that in itself is a value. But what most people don't realize, right, is that these QR codes that you put on your table signs or show flyers or business cards or your truck or your boat or whatever else, they're free. There is no cost at getting a QR code. You just need to know where to go get it. And if you write this down at www.qrstuff.com, you can go in and you can generate QR codes until you're blue in the face, and there's no charge to it. Now, granted, QR Stuff has a premier subscription service also, and they'll try to upsell you for $10 a month or whatever it is. There is really no need to do it unless you're a marketing agency like myself that needs to store a lot of information and a lot of QR codes for a bunch of different people. But qrstuff.com is absolutely free. You don't have to give them your name, your email address, anything. You just simply go in and type in the URL of your website, and it generates a QR code that then you can start using on all sorts of different things. If your website is responsive or reflective, I use the terms interchangeably. If you have a mobile website, if you particularly have a mobile application, and you are displaying these QR codes, your marketing will go through the roof. Now, a lot of people, I did a webinar a while back on trade shows. And one of the questions that I needed to address at the trade show was that, well, who's using these stupid QR codes? It's probably just kids, isn't it? Well, they did a study about a year ago, and they found that QR codes are being scanned by, get this, here's the demographic, middle-aged, affluent males. Now, let's think about this for a second. Middle-aged, affluent males. Isn't that the type of person that you want at your lodge or in your boat? Those are the types of people that are paying you the money to take them fishing. So if middle-aged, affluent males are the ones that are using this most of the time, doesn't it make sense to get involved with offering them a QR code, particularly if it's free, right? Just go to qrstuff.com and download that. And I'm not getting paid by qrstuff.com. They have no clue. I'm even promoting this for them right now. Again, it's a free service, so how could they pay anybody for it? I'm just giving you an idea, right, that can really help your business. Now, most phones or most mobile devices have a QR code reader built into it if you've bought them in the last couple years. If you don't have a QR code on your phone, you can go to www.scanme/download and go to that on your mobile device, whether it's an Apple or an Android or a Windows or whatever. You can go there and you can download an application, so then you can have a QR code scanner yourself. And again, this application is free. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to register for it. Just simply go to that URL that you're seeing right there and download it. And then you will then also be in the world of QR code readers on your phone. And you can scan all those things that you see in magazines or at the market and that sort of thing. They're really, really cool to use. So the question came when we were scratching our head a couple of years ago, is with all this new technology coming out and with all of the new opportunities in marketing coming out, how can this help fishing guides and fishing lodges put more people in their boat? Because let's face it, you guys have a dilemma. I mean, you're the showman. You're the ones typically in the boat. You're the ones that are baiting the lines and keeping people happy, keeping them entertained when the bite isn't on. And then you're supposed to market too. And so you get off the water at 6 or 7 o'clock at night, you clean up the boat, you've got a 4 o'clock in the morning client you've got to meet, and my God, you got to return 5 more phone calls to try to fill your boat for next week. Or if you're a lodge, 5 or 6 more phone calls you've got to call to get somebody to give you a deposit for next year. I mean, that's a lot of work, and I've been in your shoes. And some of it you can't get around. Some people really just want to talk to you, but there are ways to make your life easier. And so, in our experience in marketing and in sales, we were thinking, how can we utilize this technology, put it together in an affordable way, so that a guide or a lodge can use it to help build their business. And I think you'll be impressed with what we've come up with. Basically, most apps that I have seen out there, mobile websites or apps, are simply advertisements for businesses. I was looking at a lodge in Southeast Alaska's website the other day. It had a link to a mobile site that they had developed. And I'm not going to name names, but I went there and the mobile site was beautiful. I mean, it was really cool. It had all these great photos. It had, the amenities. How much does it cost to book a trip? Well, here's our guides. Here's what our lodge looks like. And that's all well and good, but if I downloaded that on my phone and then I decided not to go to the lodge, I'd take it off my phone as quickly as I put it on there, and just be gone with it, because I need that space on my phone to do other things. And so our concept behind this is that we want to help develop out something that guides and lodges can give out that is truly a gift. And people will look at it, oh my God, this is a very valuable gift you just given me. Whether I'm going to book a trip with you or not, I appreciate the gift because I can use this. And let me explain. When you offer your clients something at a trade show, or maybe you meet them on the street, or a referral, right? We consider them as potential clients. We don't know if they're a lead or not. And the trouble is, you get these stacks of business cards and these stacks of leads, and you go, who am I going to call and who am I not? Who can I, turn into a paying client? Who do I need to set aside for a few years? And if you're doing it by phone, that's a laborious task. And so what we've done is we've put in functionality into our mobile applications that keep the mobile application on the phones of your potential clients for years and years to come, because they're a useful tool. Here's just some of the things that we add into our mobile devices. We have a species identification screen where they can come in and they can click on a king salmon. It gives them the description of a king salmon. And then we also have a picture of a king salmon spawning. The same with coho, the same with dog salmon and pink salmon, and the list goes on, with, again, full descriptions and full displays of that. So if somebody downloads your app and you show them, hey, we also have a fish identifier on this, you don't have to go to your synopsis to figure out what you just caught. Isn't that a valuable tool? And wouldn't they keep that for perpetuity? And again, there's no cost to them to download this. We also put in fishing reports. And these fishing reports can either be generated by you, or they can be pulled from the Department of Fish and Wildlife on a weekly or monthly basis. And these fishing reports can be sent out to people based on the bodies of water that you fish, or any other bodies of water, and you can keep them updated on what's hot and what's not. The other thing that we've done, now this is the Oregon synopsis. We digitize all of the fishing synopsises in the states and territories in which you operate, and those are kept up to date on the application. So someone doesn't have to go down to a sporting goods store or go online to figure out, if they can fish for pike in a specific body of water. We download that for them, and it's automatically kept on their app for them. In this case, we took, because we had a saltwater charter boat that we were doing it for, we put a height and weight chart, or a length and weight chart for halibut in here. Down here is our book a trip function that we built into it. what our clients say. This is a tie-in directly into Facebook. You don't have to be a Facebook junkie, nor do you even have to have a Facebook account to run this. Your clients can simply go in and go, God, I had a great time with Shane. I killed the pike. And once they put that in and they hit send, it automatically is sent out to all of their Facebook friends. The other thing that we built into this is what we call a submit a photo. How many times have you been with somebody in your boat and they just got a beautiful, just plug of a salmon, or they got a 6-foot pike, or they just caught a muskie, and you go, you need to send me a photo of that. I need that on my website, or I need to use that in my marketing. And they go, yeah, I'll get it to you. And it never goes. Well, most people now are using their phone to take these photographs with. What they simply do is they just take the photograph with their phone, and then they go to your application, which you can show them how to do real quick, and submit a photo, and then they can take that photo and it automatically is submitted to you and put onto your website and onto your mobile device. Also in here, we've put in a Meet Me function. Meet Me function is all the waypoints and the turn-by-turn directions on where to meet somebody if you're going to meet them on a particular body of water. If you're a lodge and you're static on where you generally fish, then what we do is we turn that into an around us function. And then we can put in the longitudinal latitudes of all of the geographic points of interest that people might want to know about, different bays, different outcroppings, maybe towns if you're in Southeast Alaska, different islands and that sort of thing. And then our most recent addition is this, what we call our fish weight calculator. And it's for salmon and steelhead. I think it's called the Keelan formula. And basically you go in and you catch a fish, you put in the length and you put in the girth of the fish right behind the front gills, and it will come up with a weight of the fish in either pounds or in the metric system, and it will be within a 1 pound difference 99% of the time. If then the user of the app wants to take a picture of it, they hit the photo button. That photo then is then emailed to them or any other fishing buddies that they want to brag to, and it shows a picture of the fish, the length, the girth, the estimated weight, the date and time it was caught, and the geographic location of where the fish was caught also. And then this is stored chronologically for them. So again, our application is more of a gift and a tool to a fisherman, as a gift from you as a possible potential customer, and they keep this on their phone to be used for all sorts of different things, where most marketing pieces, such as just a brochure or maybe a website or a business card, people tend to throw that stuff away because it's not functional in their day-to-day life. Well, this is functional in their day-to-day life. So here's some ideas and things that we put into our mobile devices. We put in a home page with a custom splash page. It includes a hot button to call us, a share us button, as we talked about. The more pages, we put in testimonials. We can link it to your YouTube videos. We can submit photos from here, get fishing synopsises. I'm working with a very large guide and outfitter out of Idaho right now, and we've uploaded all of the fishing synopsises for Idaho, Washington, and Oregon. And so all of their customers and potential customers have all 3 fishing synopsises on their phones at any one time. The book a trip function, as I mentioned, all they have to do is hit a book a trip. They put in their name, they put in their email address, what they want to fish for. We can put in e-commerce. They can pay for it using a Visa if they want. I haven't had this customer do that yet. But then an email is sent directly to the guide or whoever handles the bookings for them, and then that information then can be used to give them a call back to confirm a trip. The fishing reports are absolutely killer. You can do them yourselves. We offer a service also where we'll do them for you, and it's posted to every phone out there that has the application, and those posts are also done automatically on Facebook. Submit photos, as we talked about. If a customer or a fisherman catches a beautiful fish and you want a copy of it, they typically will have their phone with them, go, hey, go to my application and just hit submit photo. When they do that, the last photo comes up that they took, or they can scroll through it, they can select it, hit a button, and it's automatically sent to you to upload. No, those aren't uploaded automatically, so you don't get the guy behind the bush that has his pants dropped that his buddy just took a photo of him. You don't want that on your website. You don't want that on your mobile device. So you do have editing capabilities for that. here's the meet me. You can put in unlimited places, turn-by-turn directions of marinas, ramps, and of course the phone uses its GPS system to track that. The fishing regulations for any and all of the different places that you fish are on there. Also, the fish identifier, the weight calculator, as we went through, and then also you can, if you're at a trade show, you can utilize the device to have people sign up for a free trip or a giveaway, and that way you can start building your mailing list accordingly, right? All of this information is tied directly into an email system of your choice, into either MailChimp or Aweber or Constant Contact. We tend to go with MailChimp because it's free, and you can send out then emails on a monthly basis about how you're doing, and it's a newsletter type service. But the real killer thing about having a mobile application is that the FCC, Federal Communications Commission, basically says, and this goes the same also in Canada, that if you have the app downloaded on a phone, that you can send out what's called a push message. And a push message is much different than an email. Email is only read about 30% of the time. It's much different than a text message. People are now ignoring text messages. These are messages that come up and over the top of anything that's going on the phone at that particular time, and that message comes through. So basically, I have 4 different phones here. I had one that was on the hotline app. I had another one, the guy was checking football scores. Here's somebody that was looking at messages. Here's somebody that had their phone just kind of on idle. And this message came over the top. Hey, at Hotline Fishing, we're killing them on the Columbia. We have dates still available for next week. Give us a call. If that goes out to 500 people, or if that goes out to 1,000 people, and all of those people read it, because they will, because it comes over the top, how much of effect could that make on your business and on your bookings? It can do a dramatic job, right, in helping you build your business. So basically, what we are is a marketing company, and we developed and customize out mobile applications for guides and lodges. We develop them out in both Apple and Android and HTML5. There are developers out there and many of them, in fact, have problems getting their applications approved by Apple. Apple is extremely scrutinous when it comes to making sure that what you're submitting to them is up to their standards. We are one of the few developers that have a 100% approval rate by Apple, and so anything that we put to them, they will approve, pretty much guaranteed. We link your application to Facebook. We link it to your website. We put in the hot buttons. We work with you in developing out the right tabs on your phone. If you're an outfitter and a guide and you hunt, then we'll put sections on there on the types of things that you hunt for, book a trip for hunting and that sort of thing also. Each mobile application is customized to look like your business. It isn't templated. We go back in, and I have people that work for me that will go in and take the look and feel of your business and make your mobile application look appropriately, right? If you came to me and said, Ted, I want you to develop out the application called Hotline for my fishing business, and I had never done one before, I'd probably charge you in the neighborhood of $1,600, $1,700 for that. Some of the apps that we've done, to be very honest, have been in the tens of thousands of dollars, but they're a bit more complex. But if you just came to me with this type of functionality, with this limited amount of things, it'd probably be a $1,700 bill, right? We will also then go in, and of course QR codes are free to set up, but we set up all your QR codes for you. We set up something called a dynamic QR code that can be read by both Google and Apple, and it can download the application on their phones automatically. We set up QR codes for your websites. We set them up for your trade shows, and we even do ones for your newsletters and that sort of thing. One of the things that we're doing, because we're just introducing this package, we just introduced it 30 days ago, is that we have a special offer, and you'll see that here in a second. But part of the special offer is that we're offering what we call a trade show package also. I'll have our designer design out also a custom trade show table flyer, a custom sign for your booth, and a set of custom business cards. You have to get them printed, but we'll develop them all out with the QR codes. We'll even go in and do a facelift for you on your Facebook page. And if you don't have a Facebook page, we'll set that up for you. We'll pre-write 12 emails that go out to people that sign up at trade shows or any place else, maybe for your giveaways and that sort of thing. We then put everything on an autopilot system. We handle then the lead capture system for you, and then I'll personally do a complete top to bottom website review, not on the coding of your website, but really what needs, what I see would make your website be more efficient. Typically, we don't do websites. We'll do a few of them. I get some opportunities to build up big custom sites at times. Typically, I'm not in that business, and most people don't need it. Most people have a good website that we can work with and build out accordingly. The value of the trade show package alone, if you came to us, would be $997. And then, like any website, there are support packages. We offer two of them. One is unlimited email and phone support, is both available in the basic and the deluxe. The unlimited push messaging, which is those messages that go out. You can send those out as much as you want on either package. Full access to our dashboard. We even train you on how to use that to look at your analytics, set up your own messages, maybe go in and make changes to the content. On the deluxe package, we'll then send the phishing reports for you. We do your push messaging for you. We automatically post to your Facebook on a weekly basis, and we'll create a newsletter for you. The difference is the basic package is $97 a month. The deluxe package is $197 a month. But remember, I have a package here available I think you'll be impressed with. So if you look at all of this, including 4 months worth of that deluxe support, it would cost about $3,500 to get involved with that. For the first 30 guides, when we announced this package, we decided to put this next package available for you. Right now, I think we're down, we've sold 8 in the last 3 weeks, and so we're only down to 22 available right now. Basically, we'll do this whole thing for either a one-time payment of $997, or if you want to break it up into 4 monthly payments of $297, that would be fine also. Obviously, making a one-time payment of $997, it'll save you about $300. It'll take us then somewhere between 3 to 3.5 weeks to work with you. We call you on a weekly basis. We go through an initial consultation about your website, what we're going to use on the mobile app, what we're not going to use, and then we'll go through a series of revisions to get it down to a point where you like it, and then we submit it to Apple, and that usually is about 3 weeks out. And so basically, for the first 30 guides and lodges, we're going to offer this again for $297 per month for 4 months. After the 4th month, then the cost of the monthly support is not $197. It's not $97. For perpetuity after the 4th month, we'll give you the deluxe package for $79 per month, and that goes on forever as long as you're with us. And of course, once we've gone through the first 30 of these packages, the price is going to go up. I guarantee you that. This is the lowest that you're going to see this available. My anticipation at the sales rate, we're going to be probably selling out by about the middle of December at the very latest on this. So anyway, to get to the package and to get signed up, if you simply go to marketingforguides.com and you scroll down, just kind of past where you signed up for this webinar, there's a $sign down there. And if you click on the $sign, that'll then take you to another page. And at the bottom of that page, you can either click on option 1 and option 2. It'll ask for then some credit card information. You can either then select the 4 payments or the 1 payment, and the credit card will be processed through our secured servers, and then you're going to get a call from me within 24 hours to set up that first consultation so that we can start developing this out. My direct telephone number is 503-380-8012. Again, 503-380-8012. I'm not only the director, but I'm the owner of the company. I've been doing this for about 30 years, like I said. We've developed out all sorts of these applications for different industries that I've been involved in and niches. We're very, very good at this, and I think you'd be very, very pleased with how this can help your marketing and how we can start helping you save time in putting people in your boats and putting people in your lodges, and then working with us on an ongoing basis to continue this. People love this thing. They look at the app and they go, "Holy smokes, this is absolutely incredible!" Not only on the guide side, but on their client side. And so, anyway, it's a great tool. Anyway, I want to thank you again so much for attending the webinar. Thanks everybody for coming from different time zones and that sort of thing. I'm going to be sending out an email to everybody that's on the call here in just a few minutes, giving you a direct link to go in and you can purchase that. Or right now you can go to simply marketingforguides.com, scroll down, hit the $ right down here, and then you'll go in and you'll be able to get involved with that. So, with that said, it looks like there's maybe a question in here. I'm going to hang out here just for a few minutes, as you might have questions that you want to type in, and go ahead and I'll watch for these. Well, I'm not seeing any questions coming through. If there is, go ahead and let me know. You can give me a call. My direct email address, if you want my personal email address, is fishonted, FISHONTED, @gmail.com. So fishonted@gmail.com. I'd be glad to respond to you personally. And of course, that I'll get back to you very, very promptly on that. You can go to themarketingforguides.com and sign up for our services. And again, give me about 5 minutes and I'll get a link out to everybody that's been on this call so they can go in and take advantage of this great offer. Thank you, everybody, so much. God bless. Have a wonderful holiday weekend that's coming up for you in the U.S. and for you in Canada. I think you also have a Thanksgiving coming up. So anyway, happy holidays to everybody. Again, thank you so much. And at this point, we'll be shutting down the webinar. Thanks again. Bye now.